Hello there, welcome to today's lesson. Today we are going to be discussing sources of historic evidence. Sources of historic evidence. So when we talk about sources of historic evidence, we are talking about places where information about past events are kept. We are talking about places where information about past events are kept. So the history of a person, a group, or a place can be found in different places. Okay, you can find them in different places. So there are a list of a few places that we can find historic evidence. So we can find historic evidence in record books or papers. We can find them in record books or papers. We can also find them in video recording, pictures that have been taken, oral tradition, stories and songs, as well as paintings and drawings. Okay, so these are some of the places that we can find historic evidence. So let's take a look at the record books. So the record books are usually papers or books that contain information about past events. Okay, they help us to remember when the event took place in the past. So examples of such record books include birth certificate, death certificate, newspapers, marriage certificate, and then attendance register. So these are some examples of the record books and then papers. Now let's take a look at a birth certificate. If you are born in Ghana, you are supposed to have a birth certificate, and then your birth certificate should look like what is in the image right there. Okay, the image you see there is an example of a birth certificate. That is somebody's birth certificate. Okay, so a birth certificate is a paper that contains information about the birth of a person, the name, the date of birth, where the person was born, who the parents are. All these things are written on the birth certificate. Okay, it is a source of evidence that shows that a person or a child was born on a particular day at a particular place. Okay, and because all these things are in the past, the time and the place the person was born are in the past, so you can find all of them on the birth certificate. All right. Another one is the marriage certificate. Okay, so when two people, a man and a woman, gets married, the information about their marriage are also written on a paper. It's also written on a paper. So you see informations like the name of the husband, the name of the wife, the day they got married, and the place that they got married at. You also see information about people who witnessed the marriage, right? So these are also examples. This is also an example of a record paper or book where information about past events are kept, right? Okay, so newspapers. Okay, so we can read about things that are happening in the past from the newspapers. It tells us when an event took place. It also tells us how an event occurred. For example, bad things like flooding could be reported in the newspaper. Okay, so when you read a newspaper, you get to see some of the things that has happened, right? So the second thing that or the second place that we can get information about past events are the pictures that are taken. Okay, so pictures taken at events are also a source of evidence about the past event. So the pictures help us to know the people who took part in the event. They can also show us where the event took place. Okay, so for example, you went to a birthday party, you went to somebody's wedding, you attended a funeral, you attended some festival, and you took a picture. Whenever you take that picture and you look at it, you remember, this picture was taken at this place on this day at this function. Okay, so it also serves as a source of historic evidence. Now the third one is video recording. So like I said, like the video recording is almost like the picture taking. Okay, so at an event, a video is recorded. Whenever you play that video, you remember the events, where it took place, when it took place, and even some of the people that were there, the people that witnessed that particular event. Okay, right. Now the fourth one is the oral traditions, songs and stories. So the stories and songs that our parents and elders sing or tell us provide us with information about the past. They are also sources of historic evidence. Like I said, they tell us things about our family, our community, and then our country at large. So elders, parents, and teachers also sing songs like Yen Arab Assassini to us. Such songs help us to know how our forefathers worked hard and had to leave behind a peaceful country. So Ghana, the peaceful country Ghana for us, sorry. They also tell us stories like the Anansi story. So usually in the evening, they will set a fire, then kids and adults gather around the fire to listen to stories about past events and also stories about Anansi. Okay, like folk tales and all that. So how has the source of historical evidence help us? How do they help us? Okay, so what happened yesterday is history today, right? What happened today will be history tomorrow. So we can say that history is part of everyday life. And the source of historical evidence help us to know when some past event took place. Okay, so the source of historical evidence, one, it helps us to know when the event took place, because we are saying that the event is past. The event is past. For us to know when it took place, we need some evidence, we need some reference book, or like we need something to refer to know when the event took place. So the historical evidence helps us with that reference. Okay, it's also, the source can also help us to know where the event took place, and then help us to know how the event took place. So basically there are three things: when it took place, where it took place, and then how it took place. Okay, so this is how the source of historical evidence helps us. They help us to know when an event took place, where it took place, and then how it took place. Okay, this is the end of our lesson, and I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next lesson. Until then, goodbye.